Today, we're going to be interviewing James Dooley, one of the most successful SEOs that I know, but more importantly, he's extremely good at monetizing and running SEO businesses, which I think is way more important than technical expertise. He's been described as a $100 million SEO, runs over 600 websites, specializes in lead generation and ranking rent. And we're going to run through the interview. There's no fluff, no filler, lots of actionable things. And we'll also be covering some of the top SEO tactics that he recommends, along with mindset hacks to keep growing your SEO business. So let's get into it. So how did you scale to that level with SEO?
It took a lot of hard work, took a lot of failing, been in the industry quite a while. Then you need to make certain you've got very good systems and processes in place, good staff in place, staff that are motivated, that want to learn every single day. And then it's almost just a rinse and repeat process of keep doing what you're doing. If something doesn't work, find out why, implement changes to see what's working in today's algorithm, and keep the members of staff happy that they understand that failing is fine and we'll learn from the mistakes that we've made and drive forward from there.
But I'm assuming to get to that level where you've got all the right systems, all the right people, etc., it takes a long time, right? Like how long you
14 years in total now. So yeah, it does take a long time. The first 5 years, Julian, if I'm being honest with you, I failed miserably. There was other people out there that was doing what took me a year and they could do it in 2-3 months by spamming backlinks. When I first started out, I was in the industry of white hat, is what people would say. So I was creating quality content, but wasn't promoting it out there. Wasn't getting any backlinks or anything. And there's other people coming back then, just writing a piece of content that wasn't as good, hitting it with GSA, hitting it with a lot of like different types of backlinks that used to work back then. Even blog comments used to work back then, forum links, everything like that. They come and overtake me. So I quickly started to learn that the black hatters actually normally the ones that know how to rank. The issue is that the black hatters normally end up being at the short-term rankings. So I needed to try to understand what they was doing and implement it, if I can, in a white hat technique that's going to give me long-term sustainable rankings. The difference from scaling a smaller to a bigger business is there's two departments we've got in the business, which is very, very, very important if you want to grow it big. One of them is an in-house testing team. You've consistently got to be breaking the SERP and seeing what's working. You can't just listen to what other people are telling you. And the second one is having someone that their job is to go through all of your SOPs, like your systems and processes, and try and make them as concise as they can be. So if you've got a 5-minute video explaining how to kind of build citations, could that be done in 4 minutes or 3 minutes? Straight to the point, really concise, and just making everything streamlined to the point that everyone who comes in on board and gets trained up, can the training be done within a 12-hour kind of stint of videos instead of it being a 50, 60-hour training course? So they're two big parts. And then just employing good members of staff, keeping a good culture within the business, make certain that the staff members, they see growth themselves. And if you genuinely like care about the people that work for you and you want them to do well, they're going to stay loyal to you and they're going to kind of help your systems and processes to grow as well.
do you typically hire people who've already done SEO?
Oh, definitely not. There's once or twice I have done. When I first started out, I employed SEO gurus. For being honest, it was shocking that it'd been taught the wrong things. And I always say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And they were stuck in the ways. I employed people that they're intelligent, but they know that they have to put hard work in, and they know that growth is never linear. It's always going to be like this as you grow in. And when you hit like a big growth spurt, don't get too cocky with it. Stay level-headed, stay humble, because you're probably going to have a drop. And on the drops, don't get too down about it, because we'll recover from it and we'll come back. In my opinion, it's employing people with the right mindset that's willing to keep going in the trenches and learning and developing every single day. Every single day is a school day. Yeah, I'd definitely go with someone that's got the right mindset over someone that's got, like say, a degree or 10 years experience who think they know what's working in today's algorithm.
You said for the first 5 years, you weren't that successful.
Yeah.
What made you keep going? Most people give up.
When I say I wasn't successful, I always say comparison is the thief of joy. And what I was doing was I was always comparing myself to somebody else that came along that just did what we did in 12 months in a month. So they say like Charles Float, prime example, right? Charles Float was a great example back then with Parasite SEO, even back then, that he would rank for terms within 2 weeks. And I'm like, I've been working on that for 12 months. So we got results and we made a return on investment and we made money. It's just, I always felt like we was missing something. I always felt like somebody else could do it better. And to this day, I think you've always got that kind of niggling feeling inside that, am I doing it the best way? Am I doing it the most concise way? Am I doing it for long-term rankings? Is this going to carry on working in the next algorithm update? I think you've always got that little bit like scared inside that, is this truly the right way? Because there's no exact course and there's no exact science with how to do SEO. And from one niche to the next niche, there's different nuances. So I probably used the wrong word when I say that I failed in the first 5 years. We've seen growth. I just seen people grow faster. And there was times where it was like, should I just employ and just get an SEO agency and to kind of do it? And we did that a few times. But the point is that it wasn't the people that was crushing it that was the SEO agencies. A lot of people that did SEO was always the ones that fake it before you make it. And I was giving them money and they was learning on the job and probably knew even less than what we did. So yeah, the first 5 years, I'd say there was a little bit, there was tough mentally for me, but it's just about setting the systems up. Any trade takes 4 or 5 years before you can master kind of the trade. So for me, it was just about educating myself and learning on the job. And yeah, it was that I just seen it almost as like my university of learning and developing on the job.
One of the things that I noticed this year, for me personally, grew the agency and the businesses that we have quite a lot. And it's come at a price, like it's been a different level of intensity than any other stage of business before. Would you
Yeah.
say there's a big difference, say, from scaling at 7 figures or mid 6 figures up to 8 figures? Like, is there a difference in the mindset or the intensity, or is it just rinsing and repeating what you're already doing?
No, I mean, entrepreneurship's not for everyone. In general, at times, entrepreneurship can be very lonely. I don't recommend everybody to get into entrepreneurship, if I'm being honest. People like chasing the money. The truth of the matter is, money's a byproduct for myself. It's not the money that I'm chasing. It's success, but it's the people around me and elevating the others. And then they are the ones that take you on to another level. If you employ the right members of staff, again, that are loyal and that they've got the bug that they want to grow and develop, you'll develop as well with it, within the business. So it's tough. It's not easy. I'm definitely not going to turn around saying just get the right systems and processes and then get staff to implement it, because you've got issues with, in general, humans. There's times they don't turn in on a Monday and you can get really frustrated because they've been out all weekend. So of course we've got problems, especially as you keep growing the team. Then you've got some members of staff that are developing faster than others within the company, and they're coming to you having conversations saying, I've been here longer than what they have. Why are they earning more money than what I am? And you're like, because they're working harder and they're developing. They've got if you're on a football team, you've got certain players that earn more than other players because there might be a better player, and that's why they get paid more. But it's tough, and it's definitely not for everyone. At times it can be lonely. At times it comes at the detriment of you not being able to go to the gym. If an algorithm update comes and you're trying to get back in the trenches with the testing team and learn ASAP, you might be doing a 16-hour stint. So you might not be able to see your kids if you've got kids. You might not be able to see your friends and go out and then go partying another weekend. It's not all amazing things. Like when things go wrong, you've got to roll up your sleeves and work hard and recover from it. So it's tough. It's difficult. If you're willing to do it, obviously you can be very successful, but I don't want anyone watching this to turn around and think that it's just been an easy ride, set up some systems and processes and get a few members of staff and a few VAs to go and implement the systems and processes and everything's going to work well. There's times, even if you've got the perfect, I've said this a million times to people in masterminds. I've sat there in masterminds and I've given people 6-7 years ago pretty much my blueprint for how to rinse and repeat earning to maybe get yourself up to £10,000 a month. And 3-4 years later, when I've seen them, and I've given them the whole blueprint, everything, all the training, everything, how to employ the staff, how to train the staff. And I've looked at them and they're in no better position than what there was 4 years later. It's because they're not willing to put the effort in. Given the exact blueprint, and they've not gone and implemented it and done it because they just think that, oh, I want to do it with a shortcut. I want to just go and buy a fiver gig with 10,000 backlinks and stuff like that. People just want to cut corners and not do it the right way.
I think the thing that I found was like, there was a stint where we didn't grow that much as an agency. And it was because we did have the right systems, we did have the right people. But I found like, if I was not on top of that and if I wasn't laser focused on it, then things
Yeah.
would drop, systems would drop, and people would stop working as hard as they were previously when they saw I was giving it everything as well. Have you
Yeah,
found the
yeah.
same?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, something on that of what you need to do is you've got to make certain you've got like a middle management set up that can do quality control. So when you start getting to a point of the amount of websites that we've got, let's say myself, then we've got a board of directors that they've then got several kind of managers, and then underneath them, then they're the VAs or the people on the ground doing the day-to-day work. But when they've completed the day-to-day work, they've got to be tracked for how much work that they've been doing. And the quality control needs 100% needs tracking because anybody nowadays can go and write 5,000 words of content in a day. You could do it in 2 minutes with some of your prompts on ChatGPT. Do you know what I mean? So is the quality of what they're delivering, is it to a high standard? Are you happy with that? Are you not happy with it? So you've definitely got to set certain people up within the business that are continuously looking for quality control measures to make certain that the staff are implementing what's meant to be implemented.
How did you go from, say, a few niche sites making maybe 10K, 20K a month to the point where you're at now?
So there was never a set, I want to grow to 5,000 websites. There was never a set goal for where we wanted to get to. Where the growth came from was where everything started for us was in the playground industry, doing like artificial grass and building playgrounds. We've still got a company now that does that. That's grown from, I think it grew from like 500,000 up to about £8 million a year of what it does. And it builds like sports pitches, tennis courts, netball courts in schools, colleges, and universities in the United Kingdom. So we just wanted to rank for those terms, and that was it. All what the plan was initially was, can we rank and generate inquiries for the products and services that we did, and we did it. And then I had a good kind of business mentor who then says, "Yeah, but you're ranking number one, but why not ranking number two?" I'm like, "Why do I want to rank number two if I'm ranking number one?" And they're like, "Well, your competitors at number two, and you've got lots of like variations of what people would type in for the products and services that you do." So we then started to create like a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth website for the same products and services of what we did. And then he came back to me saying, who is it that you do work for? And it was like architects. So he's like, well, why don't you build out a website saying that you're an architect and generate your architect more leads? So if they get busier, you get busier. So I was like, oh, that's genius. So then I started then building it, and I call it like shouldering niches or neighboring niches. So I started to build out sites for my who we was doing work for. So I built out an architectural website. I built out a construction website. I built out like an outdoor classroom website. We didn't do any of these products, but we knew they got busier. We would get busier. And then further down the line, it ended up being that they ended up paying us more money for jobs that they'd won, even though we didn't get any work out of it. They was paying us commission. And that's how we went down the lead generation route. It was like, hang on a minute, we can do this for any niche. But we still only grew it in the niches that we knew would give us more business. And then it just kept evolving and evolving. And some architects then started saying, oh, could you get more inquiries to this company? We work closely with this company that does cladding. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they go, oh, we know this roofing company. Yeah, absolutely. And then when we started speaking to like accountants, they had like kind of clients on their books. And what's the majority of people's problem that's not online? They don't have a consistent flow of quality inquiries on a daily basis. That's nearly every single business's problem. Because if you get more inquiries, generally speaking, you get more business. If you get more business, you can start upping your prices. If you start upping your prices, you make more profit. So knowing that every business needs it, it just snowballed. And we don't go out marketing. We do that much. In fact, we probably decline 30 or 40 companies a day that come to me saying, can you do rank and rent for us? And we say, no, we don't think you're right for it yet. Like, You've not got enough case studies. We don't think that you're going to convert the leads as good as what it can be. You need to improve your own website for your own branding initially. And once you've done all that, at that point, we might decide to work with you. But at present, we can't just say yes to everyone because we're beholden to how good they are at converting the inquiries as well. So we've got like a full on business team now. It's not just an SEO team. We've got a whole business and sales team that work out, is this bricklayer going to be good enough for our leads? And if they're not, well, I apologize, but we can't do it for you. Do you know what I mean? What we do isn't right for everyone.
How difficult is it? It sounds like it's not difficult at all because at this point, people are coming to you. But previously, when you were setting up these sort of lead generation websites, how difficult was it to find local suppliers that you could partner with and send them leads?
It was tough, but generally speaking, everybody wants inquiries, right? So the pain points are that they've probably paid an SEO previously and they've done nothing for them. They've not ranked the website, so they might have wasted £5,000-10,000 in money that people haven't done a good, or they've not seen that the SEO has done a good enough job because they're not ranked number one for their keyword. So they're a little bit hesitant with paying any money. So the minute you mention SEO, they're like, oh, I'm not certain about that. The minute you mention even lead generation, they might have paid money previously, and these lead generation companies might have sold that same lead 5 times to 5 different companies. And some of the leads that come through might say Donald Duck, number 999 at me.com. And it's just a fake inquiry. And then they've got to ring them up saying, I'm not paying for that lead. And it becomes, you need a big sale. If you're going into lead generation, you need a big sales team initially, because a lot of them start moaning that they don't want to pay for certain leads. And that's on a pay per lead model. Then if you go on a pay per conversion model, you're completely beholden to whether the client's going to be trustworthy enough to tell you what they've converted and what they've not converted, and tell you how much that they feel that job was worth. So at that point, you're like, and I've got massive trust issues here. Can I trust the clients? And then the rank and rent model, normally you can only do the rank and rent model after you've done the pay per lead, that you've started to do a pay per conversion, and then you move to the rank and rent model. People just think they can go and build a rank and rent model now, today, and then go and rent it out to a client. Good luck, because majority of clients are going to say, no, like what is it you're ranking for? How many leads are you generating? And are the leads what we want? And a lot of the time they might not be. So they're going to say, well, why am I renting it out at £2,000-3,000 a month when I'm not making that return on investment back? They're just not going to do it. You've got to start off within a business, let's say plumbing, and then you've then got to dig deeper into being, okay, their main part of where they make money is within boilers. All right, okay, what is it within boilers that you want? Do you want the repairs or the servicing or the replacement? Or we only install new. Well, new, really, like, you want to try to then go down the road of replacement, because the people that are new in a new housing estate, they've probably already got a contractor in place. So you go down them boiler replacement. So you start from plumbing and it goes down and down and down. You don't know that until you've worked with a client for a couple of years of where they make the money. So it's not an easy ride for you to go and set up a rank and rent site tomorrow and rent it out. Like, because clients just won't pay you the money because they don't know what they're renting and how much that's worth.
What's the best way to approach it then? Would you give them like a month free, for example?
So we normally enter a broad industry. So let's say roofing. So, and there's probably 100 different types of roofing, believe it or not. People don't know that. People just think roofing is one industry. But you start going into subtopics of roofing, and there's lots of different industries within it. So you start off with roofing, and then you might build a website, and you might go out to 100 different companies. So every single roofing company that's paying on PPC, every single roofing company that you see on Facebook ads, any van that drives past you and they've got a van, you go, that looks like a nice van. You hit them up. Anyone that's paying on like Checker Trade or any sort of online direct, anyone that you see in a catalog, in a newspaper, they're already paying like advertising. So you go and reach out to as many as you can and say, look, we're looking to generate leads. And then at that point, yeah, you might give them a month free work. When I say free, you just give them the leads and say, if you convert any, just add us something on. You add us what you think's reasonable onto that job. And then some might not convert, and then some might convert. The ones that convert, you're going, wait a minute, that same inquiry's been sent to 100 different companies and these converted. At that point, you're going, these are probably the best at conversion because they've converted some. And then you just start speaking to them. And then you need a sales member of staff to pick up the phone and say, what is it that you want? And it could be that they want roofing, or they want flat roofing, or they want slate roofing, or whatever it is that they make money in. You've got to listen to what they're telling you. You can't do it the conventional way of going in Chat GPT and saying, what's the most profitable roofing? Because that might not be for that company. You can't go into Ahrefs and go sort by CPC and search volume for what's the best, because every client is different. And some people might make more money in roofing repairs, and some people might make more in slate roofing. So you've got to listen to your customer where they make the good money, and then build that site specifically around that for them. They're getting the ideal type of lead that they want, and at that point, they're converting, they're making good money, and at that point, they're willing to pay you on a rank and rent model. But it takes time. It probably takes 2 to 3 years of working with these people from a lead generation standpoint to then further down the line. And to be fair, even further than that, Julian, you start getting some of them that understand you as a businessman. Actually, you're very good at what you do online and digitally. And we then start saying, look, you need more reviews. You need more reviews going to your Google business profile. Have you had anybody out to site to take any photos of the jobs that you've done? And they're like, no, like, you need a videographer coming out to site. We need more case studies. And at that point, when you're helping their business out more, they end up wanting you to be involved in their business, like as a director or as a shareholder. And if we know that they're making good money, sometimes they'll give you 20% of their business. They'll like to gift. So it could be a business worth £5 million and they'll gift you 20%. Some might want you to invest into it, but some might say, for him to come in and have 20% of the business, he's going to double where we are. So for them, it's good business. You get what I mean? If they know that what we can deliver is going to exponentially grow where they're at, then yeah, that's kind of how the whole model works.
At the point that you're at, it seems like you never had this plan to get to where you are.
Yeah.
You've just kind of put one step in front of the other, right? One foot in front of the other, and kept making progress along the way. How far or how big do you want to take this?
It's no longer about me anymore, if I'm being honest. It's more about my team. So I don't want to hold any member of my staff back. I don't want to hold any director back. I don't want to hold any middle manager back. I want them to see growth. They've worked hard for many years. I don't have a figure like Julian. You see me over in Chiang Mai last week. I have no nice watch. I have no Rolex. I have no tattoos. I don't drive a fancy car. I ain't materialistic at all. I'm all about memories and experiences. I absolutely love what I do. And I genuinely mean this, I absolutely love watching all your videos. Like,
Thankful.
I love learning from you about AI. I think you're an absolute legend in stuff that you're doing with regards to the prompts and the new tools that you're creating. So I live and breathe what I do. I love what I do. My wife knows that I love what I do. I don't do it. It's not for the money. All that I want to do is see the rest of my team and my business partners do well. And they almost now feel like I've been working with them now for some of them 10, 11, 12 years. So they feel like part of my family and I want to see them do well. And if I slow down, then I feel I'm doing them a disservice. So how far am I going to take it? I don't know, because I don't put a figure on anything. Like, I reckon that maybe in 2, 3 years, we'll probably have 2,000 rank and rent websites, if I'm being honest. So like, I'm only going to see growth, in my opinion. And I just see growth for the team, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm always looking to invest in people that are amazing around me that are doing different things. And I enjoy what I do. If someone turned around to me now and says, here's £1 billion, but you can't work another day in your life, I'd decline it. And I genuinely mean that, because I don't think I'd be happy. Like, I'm a guy that gets up and likes going out to hunt. So like, but obviously me getting up and going out to hunt is doing the work of what I do with. I see it a little bit, and it sounds daft because it's a really successful business that we're good. I almost see it as a bit like a game. Like, Can we, like, someone outranks us? Oh, what have they done? How can we reverse engineer what they've done? And how can we be better than what they've done? So yeah, there's no number on it. I enjoy what I do. I try to integrate what I do now within family life and just general fun as well. Like, I enjoyed coming over to Chiang Mai, seeing everybody. I thought it was a good experience. It's a shame. Obviously, I hated it that I was away from the wife and the kids. So there's that downside to it. But I try to make certain that they normally come on certain events. And a lot of my business partners that's in the SEO industry now, my wife knows very well. She knows their wives, and we normally do things together as well. So it works nicely.
It's interesting that you said that you would turn down that sort of figure. I agree with you though. I think that the struggle is the most fun part of the process, right? For me, I started off working on Fiverr.com.
Yeah.
And as bad as that was, it's kind of like you look back and it's that journey where you see the progress you've made. And it is like a video game, right? You're just leveling up and you're trying to make progress all the time. And that's the most
Yeah.
rewarding part.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other thing I would say is you have such a completely different mindset to say someone who's just trying to build up a niche site and make a bit of money with ads and affiliate. Totally contrasted. I would say you're way more like an entrepreneur than an actual SEO.
Yeah. I'm not, to be fair, Julian, I'm one of the worst SEOs in the room. Like, I've done myself a disservice at times saying that, but and I've said this for 10 years, and some of them say, you can't keep saying that, but I genuinely mean it. I'm a businessman and an entrepreneur. I'm not an SEO, but I leverage SEO for what we do. So within what I do, I leverage SEO. I love SEO, but I just have amazing people around me that are way better than me at understanding how Google parses content and changes words into vectors, the what semantics are needed on the page, the similarity between keywords and what entities are needed on a page at a micro level, page by page level, to then people that geek out in Google Sheets about what is a good link and what is a bad link. What is it, a trusted link? Is it a toxic link? Do I just need high DR traffic links and stuff like that? Like, what is it that I need? I don't know. I ask my team, what is it that I need? Because if I'm being honest with you, from update to update, sometimes some of them come back going, all what you need is, it's all about relevance. And then the next update, it's all about, it doesn't matter whether it's relevant or not. It's just all about power. And it's just, things are changing all the time. We try to do everything right, as holistic as we can. So we build a good quality site that converts well. Content quality is great. We use several different tools to make certain the right entities are on the page. We make certain we cover the topic in its entirety, do a good internal linking strategy, and then we do different various link building strategies to make certain we've got a diverse backlink profile. That's it in a nutshell. There's no push button SEO. It's hard work. And then 12 months down the line, you're ranking for majority of keywords, and there's not that much more needed after that. People always think you need to maintain a site. And the truth of the matter is, in majority of these industries, once you've covered the topic fully and written good quality content and you've got the best backlink profile, it pretty much stays there. Apart from in affiliate where you need to be updating it regularly, like doing the best of, they need regular updates and stuff like that. But in some of the industries, they don't. And once it's there, it's there.
We'll come on to some tactical SEO stuff in a minute. We've got a bunch of questions for you, community. I know you mentioned previously as well, you have a mentor that helped
Yeah.
you go from, say, running these sites to getting into lead generation and that sort of thing. How did you find someone like that?
So I don't have an individual mentor. I don't have one mentor. I've got dozens of mentors, right? So here's one for you, Julian. I desperately want to have you as being a mentor for myself with ChatGPT and AI. I genuinely see you as being the thought leader and the industry leader at present with regards to people leveraging AI. So when you talk about mentors and coaches, I don't see anyone better in this industry at present than yourself. I think you're absolutely crushing it. I think your video production quality is great, but also the content that you're putting in there, the tools that you're creating, and how you're elevating others within the industry is second to none. So when you talk about mentors, like, I'm now openly asking you, saying, I want to leverage your time and I'll pay for your time because I think you're an industry leader. And I've always had that mentality where I've seen people that are good at what they do. And it might be someone that's really, really good at sales. And I might be like, oh, I feel like our sales funnels are not good enough. So I'll have like a sales mentor that's going to tell me stuff. Dooley, this is not good enough. You need that and you need this. But he's the best in his lane, in my opinion, about sales. I'm not going to ask him about, I'm not going to ask someone just on their own about SEO. I break down SEO into compartments and say, who's the best at server log analysis? So I'll go to someone like Andrew Halliday that geeks out in server logs on a day-to-day basis, and that's who I speak to with regards to help on that front. Do I need a team to around that? Or with regards to content, who can mentor me myself in how far I push and how much time and effort do I need to put in to keep developing my team on improving the quality of content? Like, I'm a big believer that don't chase perfection. Like, perfection sometimes is the enemy. Good is good enough. So if you can do it to 80% there and it's better than your competitors and you're ranking number one, that's good enough. So I've got different business mentors is the answer to your question. I try to get people that's in their lane for who I genuinely feel are the best in the world, what I'm struggling with. And I struggle with lots of things within business. Like even the other week, I was realizing that I needed a cultural architect within the business. And I'm like, I didn't even understand properly what a cultural architect was. And it's like, you need to consistently keep praising and thanking members of staff, which I feel like I do. But sometimes you might not do it enough. Like you don't, we've all got different mindsets. We've all got different serotonin levels and dopamine levels and what's needed. So I try to speak to people that are very good with the brain chemicals and what makes people tick, because there's certain members of staff that you need to wait and be like, you need to do more, you need to do more. And there's others that you just need to dangle a carrot to. So it's, in answer to your question, I've got a lot of different people that are mentors to me. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for all the amazing people that I try to get around me to help me out. And then I do everything I can in return to help them out as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Always happy to help you, man. If you know, anything I can help with on that, appreciate it.
Julian, I genuinely mean that as well. Anyone who's watching, you go, "Oh, you're on Julian's podcast." But I don't say stuff unless I mean it, and I genuinely mean the stuff that you're doing nowadays it's you're cutting edge, mate. You're right at the very forefront of it. I'm sure there's thousands of people that are gonna like this and say, "I completely agree with what James has said on it." You're changing
Yeah,
people's stuff.
I love it, man. Like every week, every time I create one of these videos, you can see that my own mind is blown. Like I'm learning so much along the way. That's why
Yeah.
I love making these videos and sharing the whole process along the way. Let's cover some of the tactical SEO questions then that we got. So one question we got asked was, I'm a lawyer and I want to start rank and rent websites in the legal sector. What's your advice for the best way to start as a beginner SEO?
So my first question back to that would be, if I'm a lawyer, why would I want to get into physically trying to understand and uncover everything to do with SEO? You just try to team up with someone that's brilliant at building rank and rank websites or building SEO, leverage them, taking the leads and monetizing the leads, and then you being the sales arm, like you taking the leads yourself or passing them on to other companies, but just get someone else who's good at what they do. It's almost like asking, I'm a roofer, but how do I install a shower? And you're like, well, you just go and employ a plumber. You go and get a plumber to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like stay in your lane. It's not easy. People think that, oh, how do I go and build a rank and rank website? But it's the same as saying that how can I rank number one for best casino sites and do affiliate SEO? It's such a broad question to ask. It's called rank and rent, not just rent a website. You've got to be able to rank it. So to be able to rank it, are you brilliant at technical SEO? Are you brilliant on page? Do you geek out in terms of properly silo a site? Do you understand what a good quality backlink is? Or do you just think that it's a high DR traffic link? Or do you understand how to look at trust and toxicity? Do you understand where to start when you're first building the site with regards to your link velocity? Do you understand what content velocity that you need to do? There's so many moving parts to being good in your trade, which is SEO, that if you just try and start doing rank and rent in the lawyers industry, you need to be very, very, very good at what you do. And if you're not very good at what you do, you need to team up with someone and get them to do it for you. And you can still leverage and earn a lot of money by it if you can take the leads and sell the leads on. But that's my best answer. To be able to do it initially, you need to get the sites ranking. This the selling of the leads is relatively easy. It's go and employ any salesperson, and they'll be able to sell it like that. So if you turn around and says, I'm generating personal injury attorney kind of leads, you'd have 50 different lawyers snatching your hands off willing to buy the leads if you can generate them. But the hard part is generating those quality leads. Do you know what I mean? You can't turn around. Some people out there that do lead gen and they go win an iPad and they fill in the details and they sell it as a personal. Do you know what I mean? They're never going to convert. So you need to be ranking for the right keyword. But the law industry is very, very, very tough to rank. You need to learn SEO initially, or if you're a lawyer and you don't want to go in the trenches of learning SEO for 5 or 6 years, try and team up with someone that can do it for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. We can do some of these quick fire if you want, because I just want
Yeah.
to be respectful of your time as well.
Yeah.
So another question we got asked was, if you got fired today and have to start from zero, you fired yourself, would you carry on rank and rent?
You can't start with rank and rent. So you'd start off with probably something like display ads. So you go and get a few sites up. I'd probably follow your exact blueprint of scaling out sites using like autoblogging.ai. Go and try and get some to earning 500, £1,000 a month with display ads. Build out several of those sites. If one of them started to do really well and I could try and monetize it in a different way, not just by display, but by doing lead generation, I'd do that as well. I just go and build out. Like, there's also a random ranking factor. There's certain times you can build a site. Not every site that we build ranks. Like, there's certain times I'm looking at it, I'm like, this site and this site have been followed the exact same process, and this site's crushing it. And for some reason, this site just doesn't seem to perform as well. So I'd 100% carry on doing what I'm doing, but rank and rent is 2, 3, 4 years down the line. You need to initially start out just by doing lead gen, go local, go display ads with it. Just try and start getting some money in, because for the easy niches, you don't need backlinks. But when you start getting the tough niches like the law, you need a lot of backlinks. You need to probably be spending 5, 10 grand a month on backlinks in the tougher niches for you to try and get where you need to get to. For some of the easier ones, let's say plumbing in a suburb of New York or in the suburbs or in Florida or something like that, they're relatively easy to rank for different industries. You could still get yourself to earning 200, 300, £400 a month, and then just keep reinvesting it and going again. It might take several years to get back to, well, it won't get back to where I am now, but like it'll take several years to get back to earning good money. But yeah, that's what I do.
Do you target specific results and KPIs, for example, impressions or clicks or rankings, when you're implementing an SEO strategy?
Yeah, so I mean, we've kind of got a blueprint now of good quality content, get your pillow foundational links to start with, and then just keep building links and building content of what's needed. We can overcomplicate certain things with setting KPIs in place, but the truth of the matter is, normally your growth is like this, right? And then next minute, an algorithm update comes, and if you're doing things right, you go like that, right? So you have a massive jump, and a lot of times nowadays, you're only getting incremental jumps going up, and you're in like a positive ranking state, but it's a slow positive ranking state until they come and recrawl and rescore the whole industry with a core algorithm update. And if you're doing things right, at that point, you can quadruple in traffic. So it's very difficult to set KPIs for members of staff when you're first building sites out, because otherwise you go and give them a massive pay rise if a core algorithm update, and then the rest of the year they might have worked really hard and it's flatlined. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one to do. You just got to trust the process of what you're doing, which is good quality content, topical authority.
Do you worry about semantics, or is it just good quality content and backlinks?
Semantics is very important. So making certain that contextually you're covering all of the macro content needs to make certain that they've got all the main entities on the page. So when I say macro, I mean the content higher up the page has got more weight than the content on the bottom of the page. So making certain that you've got all the main, like, highest salience entities towards the top. And then you can start going slightly off topic in the micro content, and then in the internal linking to the other pages. And then obviously on the other page, in the macros, got to be like what your title is about, And yeah, you've got to make certain you're covering the main entities and the main LSIs, semantic similarity keywords and stuff like that. So there's different way, like some easy tips that you can do is when you type in the question or the title, get all the bolded keywords that show up from the SERP, go into images, get all the entities that show up at the top, or even just go and do what you do and go to ChatGPT and say, what are the main 10 entities for this kind of topic? And just work them in. And if you work those in, then yes, semantically, you'll be the best article, or you'll be at least making certain that Google understands what the page is about.
Do you have any favorite tools for it? For example, like Surfer SEO or Pop or Writer, etc.
So we use various tools. So like it's from a UI point of view, a lot of them prefer using Surf for SEO, for edge analysis, for certain things. If things aren't moving exactly what we want to, we use Kyle Roof's Page Optimizer Pro. Probably the best one is Market Moves, Jeff Coyle's Market Moves. So that doesn't use correlation. That uses topical modeling system, but it's very expensive. I think it's something like £2,500 a month. But that's the closest thing to how Google works with regards to topical modeling. But the truth of the matter is, if you're using Phrase, Pot, Surfer, you're better than 95% of the people that are out there. Obviously, majority of the SEO industry are using it, but when you're up against actual bricklayers or plumbing companies, they don't even know what these tools are. So use whatever, if you're starting out and you don't have much money, go and get a 7-day trial with Surfer, Phrase, Pot, and all the others, and just try and use those as much as you can and just see what you prefer. They're all good at what they do. OnPage.ai is another good one with Eric. But yeah, we even within my own different companies that we have, some of our different content writers prefer using different tools. As long as they're getting the right semantics and entities on the page, then I'm happy.
Do you have any preferred platform for the CMS, for example, like WordPress or that sort of thing?
Yeah, they're all mainly done in WordPress. We have a framework done in PHP and raw HTML kind of sites that we're kind of throwing up initially as test beds, but majority of them are built in WordPress. Yeah.
Another question we got asked was how much effort do you put in to see results? So I'm going to ask like how many hours do you actually work normally day to day?
So it completely varies. Sometimes I get burnt out and I might go and have 2 or 3 days off, and I've got like a holiday home in Wales. I might go there, go out on the jet ski, go out on the boat and just have a couple of days on the water and just kind of chill out, kind of refocus I need to be doing, and then I'll come back. I play football over weekend. I go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. So I feel like I've got a good balance, but then there's days when an algorithm update comes along or someone comes and pitches me an idea and I really like the idea, and I might go and do 4 days, 16 hours a day for 4 days. So like it is completely, I kind of do a lot of my stuff in sprints. When I've got the energy, I'm like, right, I'm going all in and I'm going to do it. So it varies. Not as a normal, it's routine working day. I get up about 5 o'clock, go into the office for maybe 5 or 6 hours. I'm best in the morning. I get flow state in the morning. Obviously, everyone's different, but mine is I just have a couple of coffees in the morning, get in flow state, smash a load of workout, go to the gym. Sometimes have a game of tennis or something like that in the middle of the day, and then I go home. I won't eat. I'll do like intermittent fasting. I won't eat till maybe 2, 3 o'clock. After I've eaten, I feel sluggish. Like I can still work, but when I check my productivity levels, it nearly halves after I've eaten. So I just get all the stuff that I need to do done in the day. After I've eaten, it's more on the phone, ringing up like my business partners, could be going out for a walk with a member of staff or something like that. And in the afternoon, it's more chilled environment, take the kids for a bike ride and stuff like that.
What's your SOP for recovering from penalties? What's your process for that?
So it's a very broad SOP. There's multiple SOPs that fall under website recovery. So we want to check everything on the site. So we want to fix everything possible. So in my opinion, Julian, one of the most exciting parts I think about SEO at the moment is the amount of sites that have been hit. If someone can fully recover websites and they can go and buy these sites, the hundreds of millions of pounds. There's so many sites that was once doing 100, 200, 300,000 pound a month that are now completely been decimated and they're down to 5, 10,000 pound a month. They're almost getting nothing off Google and they're only getting the 5, 10 grand a month from Bing traffic. And if you know how to recover them, then yeah, it's a great opportunity. The main ways that we look at is EEAT is one of them. So we go and check, like, just go and tick all the boxes. So I actually own a brand called EEAT-SEO,
Well, link
and they do, it's an audit. I think it's less than $200. And I think it's something like a 35-point audit. And it's probably overkill to do it all. But you know what? For the sake of $200-300 to implement it, just go and implement it. So like, go and make certain you've got an about us page, an author page, like an about us page about the company, a meet the team page, author pages for who's written the content, a contact page with a telephone, with a telephone number, 2 or 3 different emails. Even if you're only a small company and you don't have 2 or 3 different emails, just go and create them and just forward them all to one email. So go and have, let's say, at .com, go and have like a careers@juliangoldie.com, complaints@juliangoldie.com. Because in the Google Quality Rater Guidelines, it says, like, how many different ways can we contact this website if we've got a complaint? So go and physically get an address. If you can't, go and rent a WeWork space. Just go and get an address on the site, right? It just then they're able to send a post that, in their opinion, if they needed to send something by a post, they can do. There's a physical address on there. Not only that, is if you've got a physical address, you can go and get a lot of citations and directory listings, like NAP listings. They're all no follow backlinks, but it's for link diversity. Do you know what I mean? And they're all naked URLs. But that's good for your link diversity, because now your anchor text kind of diversity is good. And obviously your no follow to do follow ratio and your backlink profile is good. So we're just going to tick all the boxes on EEAT as best we can. Once we've done that, especially so something we check is in Google Analytics, we check to see whether Rater Hubs hit your website. So Rater Hubs, Rater Hubs, the software that Google uses, the Google Quality Raters use. If Rater Hubs hit your site, good luck, because normally within 24 hours, bam, you've been hit. So what actually happens is, algorithmically, Google's coming looking at your site. They see there's a lack of trust signals, and then they go and like get Rater Hub kind of members of staff to come and check. Can you see X, Y, and Z? And if you can't, lack of trust, you're getting penalized. There's actually a penalty in Google Search Console called the author transparency penalty. You normally only get it in the finance sector or the Google News kind of sector, but it just basically is telling you that Google are looking at who's written the article. I used to think it was all a myth, but anyway, that's one part. The second part is the cost of information retrieval. So how many pages do you have on your website that are getting no traffic? And do you feel that they're serving a purpose for your website? Because if they're not, get rid of them, because you're just wasting Google's crawl budget. You've got index bloat on your site, and Google then starts to be like, do you know what, site-wide, it's almost like the panda penalty days, where they call it now a classifier, but it basically is a site-wide penalty, because you've got some content, which is thin content, and it affects your whole site's rankings. So we've kind of got it in our internal policies. Majority of sites, 25% of their site gets no traffic. Export it in Google Search Console and start working through those and get them deleted. If they've got links going through to them, redirect them to the next most relevant page. Or if you think it's a really important entity for your topical authority, go and completely rewrite it and get it that it is ranking. Because if it's not ranking, it's serving no purpose to Google. And then the third one is your backlink profile. So the amount of people that try to tell me that disavows don't work, it's embarrassing. We've taken over Rick Lomas's agency and we do all the disavows. So we've got like by far the biggest kind of data set of link penalty like reconsideration requests. We use link research tools, Majestic SEO, Ahrefs, SEMrush, and then we've got our own like link simulator, which kind of comes in to tell you the power, the trust, the toxicity, the relevance, and whether it brings any sort of value with regards to like the anchor text or the positioning of where the link is. And that's called Backlink Doctor. And they run disavows. Still to this day, there's 4 or 5 kind of manual action link penalties that come out. I've heard 1 or 2 videos recently where people go, when was the last time you heard about a manual action link penalty? And I'm like, we get them all the time. Like because people come to our brand for it. So we do a lot of consideration requests on that with Google. Have you ever done a reconsideration request with Google yourself?
No, never.
So you actually go back and forth with a Google employee. So it could be like Julian Goldie at google.com. What you need to do is you need to first and foremost be seen to try to outreach to remove the links. Now, the truth of the matter is there's no chance you're going to be able to outreach to all these sites, but you have to be seen to be doing that. So you do like a campaign to try and get certain toxic links removed, and then you've got to submit a disavow, and then you submit your reconsideration request. Sometimes they might just revoke it and say, yeah, that's fine. We've now removed the penalty. And then there's times where they might come back saying, no, there's still links pointing through to the profile. It's not in the disavow. It's not been removed. And then you can start asking for examples, and they won't give you the whole list, but they'll start giving you 3 or 4 examples of domains that they say, these look unnatural. And what's really interesting with it is because some of these examples that you give, even I look at it and I'm like that's a DR70, it's got traffic, it's on an upward trajectory, like that's a good link. And they're like, no. And you're like, wow. And then when you start then digging deeper into it, you can see it's linking out to casino, it's linking out to CBD. There's just like, you can start seeing certain signs now but it's only really when they start presenting certain websites to you that you go, oh, wow. And then at that point, then when they give you those examples, we start running certain like individual split tests. So we'll buy some links on that site to an easy to rank for term that might be ranked in position number 3 and see whether it moves it or not. And there's times where some of these toxic domains, you go and get a link on it and you think it's a good guest post and it can drop you from position number 3 to position number 20 with 1 bad link. I'm like, wow, this is scary because you think it's a good link. So that we do a lot with that. And we started on the website recovery, we started doing a lot with those 3 pillars: eat, content pruning, and the disavows. If after that they've not recovered, pretty much give up. Move on.
It's a lot of work to do in itself though, right? Like that's
It is, yeah, but I just feel like if you're gonna do it, some of these sites if it was earning 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pound plus a month, it's worth the time and the effort. If you was a site that was doing 4,000 or 5,000 pound a month and it's been hit hard, you've got to then start thinking to yourself, is it worth the time and the effort in trying to recover it? At that point, it's probably not worth it. But that's something that I'm enjoying at the moment, is looking into, because so many sites have been hit. I've been hit on a few affiliate sites. I'm looking at the affiliate sites and I'm like, these are good sites. Like, and we still to this day now, from the September update, on some sites, we're looking at it going like, we've still not uncovered the exact reason it seemed like a hit, obviously, against affiliates, but like, still not certain why, because like the backlink profile's good, we've got good quality content, we've got topical authority, and like a couple of sites hit hard. And the worst thing is with it, Julian, is I've got other sites in the same niche that, in my opinion, is nowhere near as good, and they've gone above it. And I'm like, I don't get it. So we're still trying to work things out on that specific. I think it was like September the 11th update or something, but I feel like they're going to have to roll certain bits back, but whether they do or don't, I don't know.
last question. How do you see the future of SEO with SGE coming in and AI?
I think it's going to hit hard the display ad websites, the informational. People are scaling out informational type blogs. I think those sites might get hit hard because I don't see the need for a lot of people clicking through to an informational based site when Google can present the ad within SGE at the top, or the AI can present it and stuff like that. So I think a lot of those might get less traffic. The only saving grace where they might not is because Google make a lot of money on Google AdSense. So And for Google AdSense to work, people need to click through to the websites to show the display ads. So for that reason, I'm like, are they going to do this? Are they not? I'm not certain. But then on the other hand is, are they doing it? And it's probably going to make them more money, because what I'm thinking they're trying to get to do is a lot of top of the funnel keywords. If they can answer the question with SGE, and then underneath it, they've got the next 5 questions that you might want to know, and they're clicking onto it, and they're answering it, and then the next, and they're answering it. Before they know it, they're staying on Google's search for longer, and they're being moved from the top of the funnel down to the bottom of the funnel type keyword questions. And at that point, you've got people willing to pay good money on PPC at bottom of the funnel type keywords. So is it a way of them getting top of the funnel keywords down to bottom of the funnel keywords where they can sell the clicks on pay per click? If so, it's clever by them, very clever. But in a lot of other industries, people they don't want just AI to answer it. They want kind of thing. So I'm not scared. I'm not running away from the industry. I might need to adapt certain things with what I do. If anything, I'd say the SEO industry is in the best state of what it can be in at present if they can follow your YouTube channel and leverage AI. Like, what it's made life so easy. It's unbelievable. Like, for certain elements, like you can rewrite articles to add more entities in with the right prompts of what you can do. Google's come out and said that we're fine with you using AI as long as it's good for the user, it's good for Google. So having the right prompts, it's garbage in, garbage out. And this is why I enjoy your videos, because you're all about the prompts. If you just give it prompts and go, write me this article, and you don't do an outline, it's garbage. But if you give it an outline and you like the outline, or can you change this? And then each outline's got a specific prompt of how you want it being answered. Well, then it's great. Like, if anything, I'm worried about AI because now people can catch me up a lot easier than what it used to take me months and months and months to build out a site. And now I can probably build out that same site with AI in 4 or 5 days. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great time if people leverage and embrace AI. People that don't have fall further and further behind.
Yeah, I think it's never been as easy and as fun to do
Yeah,
SEO.
yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks so much for being on. What's the best way to get in touch with you, or any websites you want to promote?
So I've got jamesdooley.com. On there, it's got all my social profiles, whether it's like YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, stuff like that. I'm going to be a lot more active on the podcast and on YouTube, so they can click through on there. I've nothing really to sell, to be honest with you. If someone's got any questions, ask away. I'm quite active on Twitter as well, so ask away, and I can try to help out in any way that I can. I want others to do well. The industry is more than enough for millions of us to make millions. So the best of luck to everyone.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Cheers, Julian. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to my free ChatGPT SEO course, it basically teaches you how to rank and get more leads and traffic and sales from Google using SEO, then feel free to get that free course. Links in the comments. And if you do want to book in a call about how to get more leads, traffic, and sales from Google, feel free to book that in. We have some Black Friday deals going on. You can save thousands of dollars if you sign up this week. So if you want us to personally build you a link building campaign that predictably and consistently delivers you more backlinks, traffic, and sales to your website, feel free to book in a free SEO strategy session, and we can basically answer any questions you have, look at your competitors, and give you an SEO domination plan. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.